Okay, I guess we can start the webinar. So, can anyone confirm whether my voice is audible and my screen is visible? Please
Yeah,
confirm.
yes, and it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to our webinar on simulating serverless AiTM attack. I'm Nandini Bharadwaj, the operating officer at CyberWarFare Labs, and I'm excited to have you all here with us today. So, let's get started. Okay, so before we jump on the main topic, let me give you a brief about our company. So, CyberWarFare Labs is a UK based edtech company. The company is committed to addressing cybersecurity challenges with a real time hands on solution. Our virtual platforms allow users to refine their skills through plug and play practical labs and a diverse range of certification courses. That includes red teaming, blue teaming, purple teaming, and cloud security domains. So, our company has two main divisions, that is Cyber Range Labs. This division focuses on providing practical real-time solution to cybersecurity challenge. We offer a virtual platform where user can engage in the hands-on trainings through practical labs that are ready to use. And the second one is upskilling platform. So, our company offers a wide range of on-demand courses designed for individual at all skills level, that is starting from beginner to intermediate to advanced. And our training services are also available to educational institute and corporate organization, both online and offline trainings option. For more information, you can just drop a mail on support@cyberwarfare.live. Okay, so let's move on. So let me introduce to our speakers of today's webinar. That is Yash Bharadwaj. He is a co-founder and a technical director at CyberWarFare Labs UK Private Limited. With under 6.5 years of experience as a technologist, Yash highly focused on discovering new offensive engagement techniques and procedure. His expertise include designing, building, and teaching red and blue team simulations. Yash has delivered hands-on trainings at prestigious events such as NullCon, ZeefCon, NordSec, and many more. You can connect with him on Twitter at the red flop Yash. So that's all about the speaker today. Dear participants, as promised, we are excited to share that you will receive your attendance certificate within next 48 hours, along with the video recording of the webinar. But wait, there's more. Few lucky winners will have an opportunity to win access of any red team course of their choice, and the winners will be announced shortly after the webinar. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for being part of this engaging session. And we will look forward to your continuous participation. So, from here, without further ado, I would like Yash to take over and let's get started. Yeah, over to you, Yash. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so hope my screen is visible and um, I'm audible. So can anyone please confirm? Can Nandini, can you please confirm?
Yeah, you're audible and your screen is visible.
Okay, okay, thanks. So thanks a lot, Nandini, for the warm introduction about our company and for keeping this platform for this interesting webinar that that is really very very uh, like different thing. So today's agenda is first of all talking about the webinar, why we have chosen this webinar, that is AITM. So if you have been following the Cyber Warfare Labs series of webinars that we like do for free, and it comes in multiple domains like in blue teaming, red teaming, in cloud security, and in purple teaming as well. So we try to deliver something unique, something different from what is already there, so you guys understand, you folks understand about these concepts, and then try to implement and learn from these these things. So why we have chosen AITM is that this is one of the most hot topic that we think will be applied this year as well. And there are various tools available right now in the market, and if you have been into this in this domain, doing phishing assessment for an organization, so you might be aware of multiple tools that are available like Aviljinx, Modlixka, etc. So today we will be learning about a new kind of a concept that is not using the server based, instead serverless functionality for for executing your AITM attacks. So with whatever the things are possible, like we will be able to bypass the multi-factor authentication, and we should be able to capture the password. And the interesting thing would be that everything will be provided or captured in one of our productive application, that is Slack. So let's quickly jump onto the agenda and then understand the concepts that we have. So first of all, we will be talking about the AITM working. Like if you guys know about this, it's good. If not, then we will be covering basics of this. Then I will be talking about a case study, Microsoft-based case study on the AITM. Then we will see the server and serverless architecture, why and like as per the condition or as per the requirement, which model is the best. So we will be understanding that. Then a demonstration of of one of the Microsoft login services that we have prepared for you guys. So we will be demoing these things. Then at the end, defenses, like what are the defenses, how we can make sure that it works with the current attack strategy. Then we will talk about the giveaway and further details. So let's quickly start with the flow. So AITM, also called as adversary in the middle attack, it's kind of a attack where the attacker or the red team ups a domain, or let's say up a server, which acts as a proxy to the legit server. So we have three identities here. One is the user. Second is the phishing site that is hosted by the malicious user. It can be hosted on the server or on the serverless model that we will see next in the next slides. And in the back end, we have the target website or the legit or the authentic website, right? So how the flow is that let's say user lands into a phishing domain via let's say some of the emails bombarded onto the mailbox, or he or she somehow clicks on some of the links. So the user, let's say, click on any of the link, and the user inputs their username and password. So the interesting thing about AITM is that it acts as a proxy between the user and the target website. So whatever you will be viewing here, that there will be SSL TLS connection, then domain will be different, it depends. But whatever the functionalities of the web application is, you will see that all these things are as it is, right? So the user, let's say, falls into the trap and provides like their own username and password. So the phishing site captures these details and forward all these information to the target website. Now, in case if the user has some sort of multi-factor authentication enabled during sign-in, so a challenge kind of thing is sent from the target website to the user. So phishing site proxies the MFA screen to the user. Now, as per the organization, if they have, let's say, have a kind of phone which is acting as a trusted device, or the user has enrolled, let's say, authentic Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator, or there are multiple authentication applications during sign-in. So the users will be using these particular thing to provide the details. Either there will be push-based notification, or either there will be some kind of code popping up and they need to type it, or some of the things will be there. So by MFA, we can say that it can be, let's say, a OTP based, TOTP, time OTP based MFA, or let's say a push based notification will be there. So it depends. Now, as soon as the user use their trusted device and enter the inputs in the authentication field in this particular fifth step, this particular phishing site is able to capture these things and it proxies the details to the target website, right? So that is what happened. It just captures it and then forward it to the target website. Now, the target website will now send a session cookie. So this is the session cookie that we are interested in because we have obtained this cookie after getting or receiving the username and password, as well as the MFA details that are already inputted by the user. So this session cookie is obtained after a couple of layers of authentication. One is the basic username and password, and second is the session cookie. Sorry, second is the MFA based tokens. So based on that, the target website will be sending a session cookie, and this is what we have to capture, because this session cookie provides us access to the directly to the target website. So the user is, let's say, sent to this particular website, or it's redirected to a different website. So these are the things that happens. Now, in between, the malicious actor or the red team is able to proxy, let's say, like listen everything, then send it forward to the target website, then listen back from the target website, then forward everything. So whatever the communication is happening, it happens via our phishing site. So this is how the AITM works. Now, there are multiple tools, as I have already told, like Avalanche, then we have Modlishka, etc. So if you are aware, you might have used those these tools previously as well. So this in this particular kind of setup, we will be using a different kind of infrastructure for the whole stuff, and we will be understanding the details. So it is very interesting concept. So make sure that you understand the basics. So the phishing site will be basically as acting as a proxy, which means like all the traffic from the user will be forwarded first to the phishing site and then back to the target website, right? So this is what happens. Now, in return as well, first the communication from the target website happen to the phishing site and then it will be forwarded to the user. So this is the whole stuff. Now let's move forward. So let's understand the case study, that is cookie tab to business email compromise. So this is one of the Microsoft case study, which was I think published in 2022 around August. So this is how the things works. Like the attacker were able to send the phishing email. The phishing email contains some redirector pages. Obviously, these are some of the some of the servers where their AITM based servers are present. So this is the the redirector pages redirect to the AITM phishing page. And they might have used Avalanche or other tools which are open source. Now, if the end user, let's say, lands up on these phishing page, they provides the details, then the attacker has got the credential as well as the session cookie. So the attacker has got both the things, that is the credential as well as the session cookie. Now, using these details, the attacker authenticated to this particular infrastructure or to the target network via the stolen cookie or the credentials. The attacker were now able to read the emails of the target users or the target organization, and they were able to add some of the malicious mailbox rules. So might be the organization were using Exchange and Outlook client for for exchanging or for communication between their employees. So that would be the case. And then they have organized a BEC campaign, that is business email compromise campaign. So this is how the threat actors have previously moved in this particular flow. And then using this these access to the trusted emails, they have forwarded the mails to the other recipients as well, which is the external recipients. So this is kind of a chain. That means that if one of the organization is compromised using these kind of technique, then they leverage the trust that is established between organization 1 and organization 2. So they capture the credentials, they have the emails, etc. They use the first organization emails to fish the second organization, and that's how they move laterally to the other organization. So this is a very interesting concept. Previously, everyone have known. And business email compromise is one of the most important thing that um, this is one of the most critical thing, like compromise of one of the target organization employee email. So lot more things are there. So if you want to go into the details, you can refer to this particular link. The link is already shared. We will be sharing this ppt with you after this webinar ends. So yeah, it will be available in our website as well. Now, moving forward, let's talk about the architecture, how the red team deploys these kind of thing. So, as of now, let's say if you are acting as a kind of a red team and you want to fish, if you want to target, or let's say if you want to fish your own organization to see the capability of your employees, if they are able to judge if the emails that you are sending is, let's say, phishing or a legit one. So based on that, we will be understanding things. So now think in these terms, and now we will be proceeding with the architecture and the other stuff. So this is the legacy one, that is a server based AITM. Let's say if you have your own on-premise server, or let's say if you manage to run a VM in the cloud, let's say in any of the cloud vendors, you can easily install these programs, these tools in there, and then based on that you can perform these phishing stuff. So it's kind of very easy way previously. But in case if the blue team of the or the SOC team is able to identify, or let's say map you that this particular domain or this particular VM is malicious, then your whole infra will be disrupted. So red team generally manages and maintains the infrastructure for a while, the domains for a while. So they don't want to burn these things right away, like on a very um, easy kind of a campaign. If it is going on, and if the blue team is very good in identifying these things, they will be able to identify these stuff and then move forward. So they don't want to burn these things. So this is one of the legacy stuff. Like still various red teams are using the server based EITM. It depends on the things. So there are various well-known tools like Avalanche, etc., which operates in the server-based model. That means you require a proper server with internet access, which should be able to proxy all the traffic from the fish user to the target website. So here you can see that there is a fish user, then there is a Avalanche server. It is a server base. That means it requires a physical or a virtual server in place. And then we have the target server, right, or the legit server. So all the communication is happening over SSLT. So if you want to deep dive into the details, breakdev.org, the writer or the author of the Evil Jinx, has written very interesting blogs on this, like the basic stuff, like how to get started on this and other stuff. So this is one of the ways, the traditional ways of performing the AITM based attacks, right? Now jumping on to the next stuff, that is the serverless AITM. So that is what we are talking about in this particular webinar. So serverless computing solutions, like Cloudflare workers, then we have AWS Lambda, Azure functions, then GCP Cloud Functions. They can run single file applications, that is JS code or TypeScript code. It can be anything, etc. Now, these applications proxies the connection to the original website. So this is the architecture that we will be following when I will be demoing one interesting concept to you. So instead of using a dedicated server, we will be using these functions, any one of them. So for now, we will be using the Cloudflare worker because the flow is very smooth and it is very easy to deploy all the things. So we have the user, then we will be having only one JS file. Now if you have previously tried with tools like Avalanche or Modlishka, it requires wide setup, right? That means you require let's say Go language, and then a lot more packages needs to be run there. Then basically you have to set up the environment and then set up the domain, then the certificate, lot more things were there. But with the usage of these applications of these solutions, it's very easy, right? It's like we have the code, we just run it there. Now based on the time frame when the user will be accessing from our proxy to the website, original website, only then our Cloudflare or the functions will work. It operates on the serverless model. So that is what the things are. Now, the interesting concept is that in case if the user actually falls into the trap and provides the details like username and password, even if there is an MFA applied, the user inputs, let's say the tokens or the or let's say the OTPs, etc. It will be forwarded to the from these serverless solutions. Now, these interesting things that we require, that is the cookies as well as the password, will be sent from our serverless solutions to these productive applications like Slack or Microsoft Teams. So the script is made in such a way like it's a normal simple JS code which can be run on these serverless application. Obviously, there are some tweak that needs to be done if you want to use any other solution. For now, we will be using Cloudflare Worker because the setup is very easy, as I already told you. So this is the thing that we will be doing, right? So we will be acting as a victim, we will fall into the trap and then see how we can easily like fall into this. And from the attacker end, we will see how we will be setting up the infrastructure and then capturing all the details that are sent from the user to the website, and then forward the relevant details to our productive applications like Teams or the Slack. So for this demo, I have used Slack, right? So based on your productive application, you can use Telegram, you can use WhatsApp. Um, Only thing is that it has the webhook kind of functionality that we will be understanding in a while. So hope you have understood the architecture. I will be referencing this thing multiple times in the next slides. So make sure that you have the understanding of these things. Now, comparison. So we will be comparing the serverless model and the server based model. Obviously, I'm not saying that serverless model is good or the other one is not. It depends on the conditions, right? Like what are the stuff or who we are targeting. If obviously we are, let's say, targeting sophisticated let's say C-level executive, so it depends. We cannot go into jump straight into the details and mention that we are not taking care of our infrastructure as a red team, and then we are fishing them. Obviously we will be caught, right? So we don't want that. It depends on the conditions and the on the situations, like what model fits in what possible scenario. So it depends, right? So first of all, we talk about the comparison. So serverless model, obviously costing. So costing wise, it's very effective because it only process the request when any action has performed. So let's say if I visit the particular URL, let's say if it is in Cloudflare or let's say in Azure Functions, at only that point the trigger or whatever reaction will be there, it will happen, right? However, server based model has to be up all time, so the costing will be more in this particular case. So that's the difference. You guys already know about server based and serverless, so this is nothing new. Now, second is cloud based, provides certificate support. Obviously, if you use the services of cloud, so it provides like random subdomains. The domain, exact root domain will be the same, but the subdomain will vary as per whatever you guys want to choose. So let's say if you want to go with the cloud base or the serverless model, so it you already have the certificate support, right? Now if you talk about the server based model, so you have to manually configure the certificates so that the end user doesn't think, or it has already the functionality, the browser understands the certificate and then user doesn't end up in any of the error pages. So for this the setup is kind of manual, but it's fine, right? Now, wealth of available cloud domains, by this thing, what by this term, what I mean is that you can use multiple subdomains which look alike to the target organization. For example, if you are fishing someone, let's say on the xyz.com, right? So you can easily choose a subdomain, let's say xyz dot workers dot dev, right? So something like this can be easily added, given that the subdomain should be available, right? Obviously it should be available, but still in some cases if it collides with the other person registration, so it will not work. However, server based model, it depends on the own domains. So the red team, as I have already told you, that they well vet their own domains for a long period, because they want to have a very good reputation of the domain. They don't want that whatever mails they are sending from their domain lands in the spam or any other tags in the client side. So they want it to be landed in the inbox so that the end user or the folk can see what the things are, and then proceed accordingly. So it depends on the own domains. Let's say if the attacker or the red team has around 3 4 domains, they can proceed accordingly. So that is the case, and they can have, obviously they own the domain, so they can have any subdomain whatever they want. It's on their own. So that is the good thing here. Now in the serverless model, the code that we will be viewing next, so it comes with custom integration support with productive application like Slack and Team. Here it also comes with the same stuff. However, we need to modify some of the things, or add the functionality or extend the functionality here. But yeah, both of the things are possible here. Easy customized setup to proxy with legitimate website. More on this later, and it depends. So the things are that, let's say, if you have gone through tools like Aviljink, so it provides vast platform um, proxies, like you are fishing, your Aviljink server can act as an Okta proxy, one login, Microsoft, or let's say Citrix. There are a lot more, right? So obviously it's an open source stuff, and it has been in the market for a while, more than 5 6 years. So people have been adding fishlets, depends on that. Now on the serverless model, it is a very custom setup. So recently, I was just viewing one of the research that I will be telling at the end of this webinar. So on that research, I got some idea. The whole stuff was added in there. However, the things are that it's as of now very restricted. Like it's only present or available to a single um, proxy application, which we will be demoing, is of Microsoft only. Obviously, if you guys would like to extend it for any other applications, let's say if you want to act your serverless proxy in let's say Facebook, or let's say in Instagram, or in any other enterprise application, so you can. But obviously you have to develop the code accordingly, right? So we'll see that, see these things later. So I'm not saying that which one is good, which one is not. These are some of the models that we think that red teams generally think in this ways when they are selecting the models, and based on that they proceed accordingly. So let's move forward. Yeah. So let me demo a few of the things that how we have done. So as already told you, that we will be using the Cloudflare workers, and why we will be using this, I will let you know just in a moment. So it provides serverless execution platform which allows to run application without any infra headache, right? So in the server base, what the stuff are is that you have that the even if you are using any cloud providers or your own VM, let's say in a dedicated server, so you have to provision some computing resources, and it be up 24 by 7. But here the things are serverless. That means it only provides any response in any action when any action occurs. So this is the thing. Now, Cloudflare workers provide a custom reputed domain, that is workers.dev. So it provides this particular thing. It resolves third party library dependency. So for this particular demo, we will be using JS code. So JS code requires some of the external library setup, which can be easily bundled up in a single, in a single package, which contains, let's say, a couple of libraries, external libraries. Or it is also possible that, a single JS code interprets all the things. It's also possible. It depends on what proxy we are trying to watch, what particular legit website we are trying to proxy here, right? So in this demo, since we will be proxying the Microsoft login, so it's there. Now custom JS code which single-handedly manages the phishing operation. So let's quickly see the details, like how all these things looks. So this is the code. It's a simple JS code, right? So we will be using this particular domain. This is the target domain, that is login.microsoftonline.com, right? And this is the webhook. So this particular webhook is currently integrated with the Slack. That means any of the if this particular application or Slack application receives any of the information, right? So it forwards that information to my Slack group. So that is what is added here. Now we will see. So what this code is trying to do here, this will be acting as a proxy, right? Whatever the code is. So this code will receive the details from the user, the fish user, modify few of the things, then forward it to the actual domain. Then it receives the details from the server. It then, without modifying few things, like it modifies some of the things and then forward it to the end, end user. In between, we are trying to interpret everything and then capture the thing. The only thing is that the infra is different, that is serverless, and it's very easy to understand. If you go into the details of this code, it's not very tough. Now here we have done few things, and as I have already told you that this is for the Microsoft login, right? So there are a couple of things to understand here, that after analyzing via tools like burp, it has been noted that when the client send the response via username and password to the server, there are username and password which are found in these keys, that is login and then the password. So these are the keys or the parameters that is sent from the end user to the server side, right? So here if you search, this is the response, and here we are searching for the details, like the actual login, that is the username. So the some of the regex is there, then here the username will be forwarded and stored in this message variable. Now password is what we're interested in. So this particular password has this parameter PASSWD. Now if this particular format is found in the response, or sorry, in the request from the server, from the client side, so it will also be stored in this particular variable. And if both of these conditions are true, then we have a function called Slack. So this particular function will forward the details to the Slack, right? So this is the particular function. Now it will send it to the webhook URL, that we will understand it in a detail. So it's only 178 kind of around 175 174 line of code, JS code. I will be copying this and moving to my Cloudflare. So this is the Cloudflare dashboard, right? So here you can see that I have not signed up for this. You can access the trial account for this as well. Now here you need to go to the workers and pages, right? Just click on this, and here you can see that get started with the worker and pages. Build serverless function with workers, deploy website full stack application with pages, and you can have a single page application as well. It works, right? So there are multiple templates that you can use based on your requirement. However, as of now, I will be using a custom worker. Now this is what I was telling you, that the root domain will always be worker.dev here, right? As you can see, now here you can choose the subdomain as anything, something like this, like microsoft.yashb.workers.dev, right? So this is the root domain. You can choose this anything, and this is the functionality. Obviously the certificate stuff, everything will be handled by the Cloudflare, right? as of now, it like renders or provides a kind of custom code which is not required as of now. So I have used the subdomain as Microsoft. I will be then going into the deploy. So the best thing is that it's free, right? You can start and up this thing ASAP. It works like a charm. So here you can see that this particular worker is up now. Now you can just visit this particular stuff and you can see that it works. Hello world, right? And everything is managed by the certificate is obviously is managed by this Cloudflare. You can see that everything is working fine. Now most of the users or the employers that you are targeting generally get fished by this particular stuff, that is if they see the any of the trusted word here, right? So here you can see that Microsoft is here. So some many of the users we have seen in our previous assessment falls into the trap. And when we were reviewing or collecting the reviews from them, they mentioned that they saw something like whatever the domain name is, and their fake or the phishing domain looks very kind of equal to the actual one, right? So this depends. So as you can see that obviously one the some of the folks who understand these things have knowledge that this is a phishing or this could be phishing if not. But some of the persons who are into the IT but do not know more into these do not are not into these details, so they will definitely fall for these stuff, right? So this is how the things will be. Now here we can easily edit the code. You can see that these are the locations, I think, which is deployed and where it is deployed. So this is the code, right? Now you can simply remove this and copy the code that I have just pasted. Okay, so this is the code that is present here, and here you can see that it automatically renders here all in all, right, in real time. So this is the code, right? It basically it will act as a proxy application. You can see it's a simple JS code, right? So I have not used any external files or any external libraries. It works as is. Now if you would like to add more things, you can add in here. Like if you want to add any external libraries that your JS file use, so you can easily place a new file, or let's say a folder itself, right? So it depends. So you can this is a simple JS file, single file. But if you are JS code, let's say, require any external libraries, obviously in this particular environment you won't be able to download these things. So it's better to have it in a package, and then you can add the package and then import it from here, right? So that also works. It depends. Now the only thing we have to do is save and deploy, right? So your worker will be deployed at this particular domain. I will save and deploy. It will take few seconds. You can see within seconds, couple of seconds it deployed. And now if you visit this particular stuff, then you will see that our Cloudflare worker is now acting as a proxy, right? It will try to sign in, but as of now it's nothing is there. So you can see that the domain is something like in the workers.dev, that is in the Cloudflare. Obviously I've not used any phishing tool like the open source one that is available, but you can see that it successfully proxies from the end user to the actual website, right? So that is the case in this particular section here, right? So I will stop for now, and I will now move to the next demo, that is the Slack workspace for update. So first of the thing we have done is the code is already there, right? So you guys can understand and see the code afterwards. And if you have any doubts, email us, right? We are like our team is active on the email. They will be able to help you in case if there is anything. Now, talking about the integration with Slack Workspace. So these are the steps that you have to follow. Obviously, as per your requirement, you can use Microsoft Teams. Yes, as this as well. But I have chosen Slack because it's free. Microsoft Teams, you require license. So yeah, that works. But as per your own organization requirement, what it offers, so you can proceed accordingly. So integration with Slack workspace for updates. Now, if let's say the end user falls into the trap and provides the information where we will be storing these things, right? Obviously, this is a serverless model. We can't store anywhere. It performs a request and then responds, proxies, everything, whatever is thrown at the proxy, just forward it. So that's what it will be doing. But here we want some location where it all the credentials, all the tokens, cookies will be stored, right? So we are looking for some of the thing. So what's better than the productive application? It's like, let's say you are working somewhere, up your campaign, people are falling for it, your employees obviously, they're falling for these things, right? And you are getting updates in your Slack channel or Microsoft Teams channel, right? So what's better than this particular scenario? So that's why we have used the Slack workspace for the updates. So these are the steps that you have to follow, and you can easily create depending if you have organization email. So you can create a Slack workspace and organize a group, that is create a group called give me cookies. So this is what I have done as of now, right? So you can create a workspace, but the only requirement here is that you should own an organization email. It doesn't work for the free ones like Gmail or Yahoo or Proton Mail. It will not work for that. You have to use an organization or your own domain, right? So that is one of the keys. Now, second step would be, once you have created a workspace, you have created a group called Give Me Cookies. You can create anything. As of now, this is the demo, so that's why I have used this particular name. Now we will be creating a Slack application that is cookie updates from scratch, right? So we will create a Slack application which accepts the information from our serverless code, that is from this Cloudflare, right? Cloudflare worker. So it accepts the data and then post it in one of the channel. Enable incoming webhook, allow app to post updates to post messages from external sources to Slack. So I will just quickly demo this how I have done this stuff. So it looks like this, right? So I have created one of the application. um, Let me first of all remove it. Yeah, so these are the things that you will find, right? Everything inside this, all the things are here. And here, if you go to the basic information, you will find that all your application details, all the things are present here. So as of now, I will be deleting the application so that I can show you how things works. So this is my one of the Slack workspace that I have created, which is named as msupdates.slack.com, right? And I have created a one channel called give me cookies, right? And I am the user or the red team, let's say attacker. So this is one of the private channel that I have created here, give me cookies. It's simple as like creating one channel here, right? And whatever you want to name it, you can name it here. And you can have it private or public, so it depends whatever you want to choose. So I have created like the same way how I have shown one channel called give me cookies. Now let's create a application, right? So let's create an application from scratch. So it used the configuration UI to manually add basic info, scope, settings, and features to your application. Let's name it something like let's say transfer, right? Whatever you would like to have, you can name the application as like something like this. You can have the workspace. So my workspace name is ms updates. That's what I have shown you right now, right? So that is what it is. And then create the application. So you can see that the application is created right away, right? All the client id secrets for the application is added here. If you want any custom integration with the bot with this application, you can do that. As of now, I will not be doing anything, right? Now the next thing that we will be working is to enable the incoming webhook, right? So let me just click on this incoming webhook, and I will just be adding in here, right? So as soon as I switch this to on, what happen is that it accepts or it listens for the data that is sent to this. Now but this application as of now is not attached to any of the channel, right? So how we will be adding these things? It's very simple. We have to create a new webhook. So let me create it. So you can see transfer is one of the application that I created recently. It is requesting permission to access the MS Update Slack workspace. So would you like to provide the permission? Yeah, definitely we want. So we want the updates and give me cookies channel, right? So that is what we require. I click on the allow, and yeah, so it's done. Now you can confirm it via this particular command using just a post request using this data, that is hello world, to this particular endpoint. And if you look here, as of now, there is an integration of an application which is transfer. Now I will use my terminal to confirm if I am able to write, print hello world in the that particular location. So I will be adding this, and you can see the response is okay, which means that we have recently forwarded something to the this particular channel. So understand how things are working, right? So first of all, we created an application. We enabled the incoming webhook on this application. Then we added that whatever data is sent to this particular location is forwarded to the channel, and this has happened via the webhook, right? So the webhook URL looks something like this, right? So this is how you will find. This is one of the endpoint. If you try to access it directly, it will not work because it requires some payload, some of the text to send, right? So you have to send a not a get request but a post request to this endpoint, and it will then forward all the details to my to this particular channel, right? So that's how the things are. Now let's quickly look into the details, and as of now see if we get anything. Right now I will be playing the role of the victim. Okay, I will try to sign in here. So let's say the end user or the red team try to send me this particular link. I fall for it. Now I try to enter the details. As of now you can see that there is nothing here, right? It's just simple stuff. Now whatever I will be providing the details, it will be sending in here, right? So that let's see how it works. It is for your information that all the things are running from will be running from here, right, in a serverless architecture. So let me type in the details. One of the user victim of this organization is logging in the Microsoft, right? So you can see that things are sent. Now I will type the password. Now as soon as I sign in, I can, the end user can click on yes or no. Now let's say if the user clicks on yes, right? So the user is now successfully redirected to the office.com. Now if you see, oh sorry, I think okay, sorry, I think we need to update this new webhook URL to our JS code. I will quickly do in our, okay, now I will try it one more time. Save and deploy. Yeah, it's done. So I will try it one more time. Okay, so now things are coming, right? So we will authenticate one more time, right? So I will be trying, with the same account again. Let's see how things work. Okay, so let's enter the detail one more time. So this is the details. stay signed in. I can use choose no or yes. In between, if there is any MFA or any portal, if there is there, so that also works. Now you just look into the details like whatever is sent to this particular stuff. So first of all, you can see that the username and password has been found, right? This is the username CWL training, and this is the password. The recent password that I have created is present here, right? You can see, and the cookies are also found, right? So the cookies is present here as well. Now we are interested in couple of cookie section, and this is ESTS auth and ESTS auth persistent. So we will be using that particular token to understand how the details looks like, right? So first of all, we check the things here, that this is one of the cookie value which is ESTS or persistent, right? So this is one of the one from here till here, right? So this is one of the cookie which is ESTS or persistent, and the second one is right below it, that is I think ESTS auth light, this one, right? So these are two of the cookies that we require to the login, and you can easily use these cookies to log in into the into the session of the another user. So this is how the things looks like. Obviously I will be not be demoing the other stuff. It is very simple. You just need to go to this location, login.microsoftonline.com, and instead of adding a user here, go to the inspect, here in the storage, in the cookies, the both of the cookie needs to be altered, that is ESTS auth persistent and ESTS auth. So if you modify the values with what we have got here, you will be able to sign in without even providing the MFA or any other details. You understand, the drill, what's next. So these are the things here, right? So it's very simple stuff. The only thing that we have leveraged here is using the serverless architecture for for other details. And the interesting thing is that all the things will be forwarded to the Slack or to the Microsoft things, Microsoft Teams, and then we can easily understand the details, right? Including the username and password, right? So these are the stuff. And the important thing is that as soon as let's say if the blue team or the soc team identifies that this can be a phishing domain, then you can easily go to this section manage, and then you can easily delete the stuff. You can rename the worker in between as well, that also works. Or if you want to delete it, you can delete it as well, right? So this is how the things looks like in this particular Cloudflare worker. Same stuff you can deploy in any other platform, in any other serverless platform, and in any other language, so that also works. But as of now, this is how the things works in the serverless stuff. Now let's move forward. So, what are the defenses, or how we can mitigate these kind of attacks? So, first of all, is to implement AITM resistant solutions like SmartCast or key-based authentication, then Windows Hello for Business or Mac keychains, or FIDO 2 keys, which are the physical keys which needs to be inserted during the login, stuff. However, there are still various ways to downgrade the above authentication mechanism to legacy methods. That means, let's say if any of the organization has actually implemented these important stuff, in case if things doesn't work out, for example, if WHFB or FIDO2 keys or some of the things are not working, obviously if if you are using any identity provider IDP, let's say of Microsoft IDPs, like Entra IDs, or any other, let's say of one login or Okta, so they provides the downgrade functionality. That means if these functionalities are not working, for example, if you have biometric or facial recognition system enabled in your laptop, and that is the only way to log in into these resources, it's very difficult. That is what organization never implements, right? There are other ways as well to log in, other than these secure ones. WFHB. So we have seen that most of the organization using Microsoft Entra ID for their authentication, as a authentication platform, as an authentication platform. So they are giving away the devices which supports key based authentication, or let's say facial recognition or biometric authentication. But the only thing is that as soon as we do some trickery on the request, the things, the authentication mechanism are fall back to the legacy one, which means it can be fall back to the actual TOTP based or the MFA based authentication methods, right? So these are the things here. So obviously, these things are good, but can't be implemented as is. So that is one of the case. But the thing that work is implementing conditional access policies. It blocks most of the complex phishing attacks. That means like the resources of, let's say, a compromised user can only be accessed from a specific location or from a specific IP address or a IP range. So let's say if the attacker is in any other country and try and has already compromised the mailbox of any user, but if that attacker tries to access the resources on behalf of that legit user, they can't. Why? Because of the conditional access policies that restricts the attacker to a specific location, or or to a specific IP range, or any device. So it depends, right? So conditional access policies is a good go, right? So we suggest to organization to deploy these things. Now obviously this is obviously running in most of the organization, like continuous phishing assessments and employee training can be followed as per organization policies. So regular phishing emails or assessment has to be done, or the employee training has to be done to identify if the emails are legit or the phishing. Because with the advancement of these kind of techniques, or with any other platform coming into the picture, attacker leveraging those to fish the end users who do not have, obviously do not have too much knowledge of these technical stuff. So they will fall for it definitely, and if they fall for it, the organization is compromised, right? So that's how thing works. We have to keep the employees aware about the recent hacks, about the recent techniques that the attackers are following. So based on that, we can protect the assets that organization has. So special thanks to Mr. Weasley from Zolda.io. So most of the code and the script is taken from one of their research that they have done so far. So yeah, I think that's all for this particular webinar. And as Nandini mentioned earlier, that we will be giving very interesting, like we have a giveaway like from this webinar. First of all, you guys will be getting the attendance certificate that you have attended this interesting webinar on the AITM base. I think within 24 hours, not right away. And we will be selecting 5 random people from LinkedIn who have commented and liked, I think, and reposted our one of the posts. I think it's there, the link is mentioned here. So if you have if you have done this thing, so I think you are already in the queue that you will be able to get any of the red team course of your choice. So yeah, that's all. I think if you like the webinar, please give us a shout out and tag us in social media platforms. And if you have any technical questions related to this blog, sorry, this webinar, or any of the code or any of the things that you require, please drop an email. Also, do not worry about this particular video. If you have missed something, this already will be uploaded in the YouTube channel, and it will be available in our website as well. So if you go to this event section, we upload all the details, to the webinar series. So here we upload all the details that is there, right? Like you can download the material is free to download. You can watch from YouTube as well, so we are redirecting here to YouTube. Whatever things are, you can do that. So we have been organizing multiple webinars. You can see interesting webinar. So it's time to follow us. Like go into the details of what we are offering right now. There are a lot more things that we are offering in multiple domains. Everything is practical. Cyber range labs that we have developed, you will be understanding and scaling at the end. We have a uh, you know a support team, technical support team, who is already there for you if you are stuck. And the best thing is that you guys can enroll now, you folks can enroll now and then start anytime as per your own convenience. We do not restrict you guys or any other ones to start on a specific time and add on a specific time. It's on your own. So there are a lot more benefits and alignment with the market. That is what we're doing. So lot more stuff here. Okay, and yeah, I think that's all for this webinar. Now 5 minutes I will spend for the questions. If there are any, please let me know. Yeah, so if there are any questions, please let me know. So Jose is asking, besides the running costs, that are some aspects of offset, what are other advantage of so as I mentioned that it depends. The one of the best thing is the certificate that I think is good, because in the server base, like, there's a lot of headache that needs to be done on these certificate arrangement side. Then customization of these tools like Avaljinx or Modeliska if you are doing an assessment. So the best thing is the certificate based stuff if you are doing these things. So it basically manages everything. And you can create your own kind of fishlet, but in a serverless model in JS code. So that depends. That is a very good thing. So there will not be kind of any fingerprint, because this is a very new concept that is there. So I hope, Jose, your question is resolved. Um, yeah. So there are some other questions as well on the. So as I mentioned, one of the person is asking. Um, yeah, Raghav is asking. So Raghav, it depends, right? As I already mentioned, that server-based and serverless technologies both have their own pros and cons. I definitely do not say that you use this or you use this. It depends, right? So yeah, that's all. Yeah, I think there are other questions as well. All these details will be available from all these details will be available, I think, by tomorrow, Saturday, and you guys will be receiving the certificate within 24 hours. So yeah, feel free to tag us and share in LinkedIn. Yes, any plan on this? Yeah. So yeah, definitely there will be a lot more interesting things that we will be rolling out, and also we are looking at our old courses. We are not like whatever courses we have built a couple of years back. We are trying to add things in there. Like, we are trying to upgrade these things, and like you know adding the cyber range labs, like improving our cyber range labs based on the feedback that we are getting. So everything is going good, I think. You guys will definitely see more interesting stuff from cyber warfare labs in the coming months. Yeah, there will be a lot more things. What OPSEC measures are possible here, since a reverse proxy and IP blacklisting based on region would be better? So there are some custom integrations as well. One of the thing I like about Cloudflare Worker and the others, like a comparison to the others, like Azure VMs, or sorry, Azure Functions or the others, is that Cloudflare Worker provides custom domain integration. And I think we do have some of the region based blacklisting. Like, we can have kind of IP based restriction, we can have a region based restriction. It should be available to a specific region, denied access to the other one. So that is there. Doesn't Microsoft send the YPAT password by encryption rather than sending it in plain text? How does the variable capture the plain password in plain text? So whenever the things are sent from the client side to the proxy first, and then from proxy to the server, so it all happens in the in the clear text. So that's how we are able to, we are just going through the request, and then getting the details, and then like sending into the Slack. So whatever the things are, it's like implemented by Microsoft. So yeah, that's the thing. Would similar code be used for C2 infra also, like payload server or redirection? Yeah, definitely. You can use this as a redirector as well, like based on whatever things you would like to have. The best thing I like about this is having a single file JS code with all the details in it, right? Or a TypeScript. So that depends. Access password and username with cookies. What can access other things instead of this by this phishing link? I think that's the main thing we require. No, we require the credentials, including the cookies. So cookies we require because in case if MFA is implemented, so we have the tokens or the session tokens that we can leverage later. As soon as the session is active, we can use that. So that's what we require. Other than that, I think that's something that we are not interested in. So yeah. So I think that's all. There are a lot more questions, but I think those are repetitive. So I will be ending this webinar. So yeah, thanks all. First of all, like thank you all for coming in. I think it's Friday, so and it's Good Friday. So thanks all for joining this webinar, and hope you have learned something from this. Definitely once we open source these stuff in our website, I think you guys will understand and then try to replicate everything. In case you have any doubts, please reach out to us. I think it will be um, our honor to serve you all these things there, and we will keep on organizing these stuff again and again. So thanks a lot, and thanks for your time, for providing your time and coming here, or seeing all the details. Yeah, that's all. That's all. And thanks for pouring love to Cyber Warfare Labs. We are getting very good, response as of now, and we are hoping for the same. Since our team is doing a lot more research, lot more niche content has been rolled out. So we will be doing a lot more things for you guys, and hope you have uh, leveraged our recent anniversary sale. So yeah, thanks all for joining this wonderful webinar, and even your presence is makes matters a lot here. So definitely we will be having new webinars and new things coming lined up next month, multiple stuff, more interesting stuff. So till then, see you all, goodbye, take care, thanks a lot, thank you.